Should be open. And the switches are.
Okay. So, you ready?
Yeah.
This is the rain sensor, which is actually activated now because of the rain. Matter of fact, normally I just have to say there'll be an X if it's activated. Right now you can see that there's an X. That means that what happened was from the rain we've been getting, you can see that X right there. It's not going to water the normal program until that dries out. So it's good. Yeah, so this is what we call a rain sensor. There's another, let's see if I can see that right there? That is the other side of it.
Yeah, I was wondering what that little white thing
That's
was.
the where the water, water goes into that. There's a cork in there that expands. When that expands, it hits a switch, sends a signal to the controller not to water.
So like a float in your trough.
Exactly. And as it comes back down, it like lets the switch go back out, and then it waters. So that just has to be where it's clear above. So okay. So anyway, so that's what that is. So that's working good and everything. You don't ever have to do it. There is a battery in the part outside. It's one of those little nickel batteries. They last about 5 years, and my guys are trained, like when they come out, like say in 3 years from now to check the system, that's part of their checklist. So they'll look and see if the battery's good.
Okay.
If it isn't at that time, we'll take care of it. So nothing that the homeowner that y'all need to check.
Okay.
Okay, so here's your controller. The way that I always like to teach this controller is there's three things: the wheel, left, right, and plus minus. So as we go around this wheel, it will, and that's also right there. That's also telling you that the rain sensor is active too. You can see that cloud.
Yeah.
So as I go around here, the first one is date. All of this is set already. They actually day off. Today's 26. Good, I can show you. So see how it's flashing?
Yeah.
All I gotta do is plus to get to 26. And then if I want to go through this, if I say it was wrong,
I see.
you just go up and down to change. Same thing with year. Then you go into time. So 10:43, that is correct. But if I did want to change it, like for daylight savings time, that's how you do it. You just go through the field and then it goes. This is a 12-hour clock as opposed to a 24-hour military time, and then back to that. Second thing is start time. Start time is when your system's going to start in the morning. I'm going to set this. You can see how it's flashing. I'm going to actually set it for 5 o'clock, and zone 1 will run at 5, zone 2 at like 5:10, and then so on like that. And there'll be one after another.
Okay.
You really don't have to mess with this that much, if any, because when you change the time, that'll set it to the correct time. So the goal is to get the watering done about 30 minutes before sunlight.
Right.
And so 5 o'clock should do that. It doesn't have to be perfect, but it needs to be close. The third thing is run times. I'll make sure when we run these here in a second, I'll make sure that they're right. But basically you got 7 zones. So you just go through here, and if you do want to change time on zone 7, you use your left, right, 7 is flashing, and then you just hit up or down. Okay. And then next one is water days. So this is, we want to water probably 3 days a week right now, especially with it's back down into the 80s. If it gets back up into the hundreds, I'd add a day. But I like to say, thank Ghostbusters. Because like when I hit negative, it turns that day off. See that circle around? I always thank Ghostbusters with the line through it. That means it is not watering, okay? And then Wednesday, I want to water. Thursday, I don't. Friday, I do. Saturday, I don't. And then Sunday, I don't. So, hang on. Monday, I do. Tuesday, I don't. Yeah. Okay, so right now that'll water Monday, Wednesday, Friday.
Okay.
Okay, so that's that. Weather. This is where you can actually bypass. You really don't want to do that. You can't buy sensor off, sensor on. You don't want to do that, but if you ever
That's
wanted
for
to,
like the rain
that's for the
sensor.
rain sensor.
Okay,
Yes,
yeah,
ma'am.
we don't really want to ever mess with that.
Flow sensor and is something that we don't put on them, so that's not. We have tried to find a good flow sensor, and they always they
Don't
break.
work.
They just don't work. So we're still in the. One day we will, and we'll offer that. So probably one of the things you'll use the most is manual watering. So there's 3 ways that you can manual water. Let's say, okay, I come out here, it's on auto. I open this up. Right here, if I push this button, it says hold to start. If I push this button, it'll start zone 1 and run through the system. And then it'll go, you can hear water somewhere.
Yep, there it
So then it'll go through the system and it'll then run again the next time it's supposed to, whatever that was. Okay? That's one way. That's one thing. Let's say you see one area, let's say a front flower bed, for example. Go to manual watering, and then you can go to whatever zone you want. Let's say that's zone 2, and you just want to get that one area. Go to zone 2, hold this down. Oh, I didn't hold it down. And then zone 2 will only run, and that will be only zone 2. Now, key to this, after you do a manual station like that, make sure you go back to auto, or it will not run when it's supposed to.
And the red X off means the whole system.
Yeah, that's
off.
totally thing off. Yes, ma'am. Okay, so I'm going to turn it off. The third thing, and that's what we're about to do, is what we call just a checking of a system. Right here it says all 2 minutes. What that means is that I'm going to do to where all of them run 2 minutes, and we're going to walk around and look at them.
Okay.
The key, where you might want to use this is, and you can change this to all 3, all 1, whatever you want. The key to this is, well, we're not the key, but where you'd want to do this is, let's say you just want to come check and you don't want to walk back and forth. You do this, and then you just stay out in the yard as it goes through the system. You do it like for 1 minute, just make sure there's no leaks, make sure that, down the road. So.
And that they're aimed where they're
Right,
supposed
exactly.
to be.
That's just that. My guys use this a lot when we go to homes to do repairs. Instead of having to walk back and forth, we do this. We'll run them for 2 minutes, flag where we need to work,
Right.
and like that. So I'm going to start this, and then me and you are at that point. We're going to just go walk around, and make sure everything's looking good,
Okay.
and then we'll come back here in a second.
All right.
Okay.